If there's one word I can describe girls band Cry, it's just simply a masterpiece. Now that word gets oftentimes thrown around in a lot of series. Sometimes it's true, but other times it's people's just personal opinion on a series that they personally like. But with girls band Cry, a majority of people can safely say that this show is a masterpiece and is probably one of the best things to be created in 2024. Not only was it one of the most impactful emotional stories that I've seen in quite a while, but it's able to showcase the many hardships in life with the mixture of music as well. The last time another series did this was of course Bhxa the Rock, so the fact that this series managed to be up to the levels of Bhxa the Rock is quite an achievement. And would you believe me if I were to tell you that this series was not only created by Toei Animations, which doesn't need an introduction in and of itself, but it was CGI. Now at first glance, a lot of people were very skeptical of this show, and of course it's obvious because of the CGI. Many people really have mixed opinions on CGI, especially when it comes to anime, because there have been a lot of moments in anime that have showcased bad CGI. However, in recent times, people have not really minded too much with CGI because of how the studios have showcased it and how they're able to handle CGI quite recently. And while this was also the case with Girls Band Cry, when they saw the first couple episodes with CGI, a lot of people didn't mind it whatsoever because of just how fluid and nicely done it was animated. It's very clear Toei Animations, despite this being an original series, they put all their effort into it because it's not only beautifully animated, but every moment, no matter how small or how unnecessary it is, was always so captivating to see, and a 24-minute episode felt like 5 minutes because of just how into it you were from beginning to end. The story follows our main protagonist, Nina, who is leaving her hometown to go into the big city. And the reason why she's making this move is because of the troubles that she dealt in her hometown, where she was sadly a victim of bullying, and it got so severe that she decided to just simply leave and go and have a new life somewhere else. And initially her goal is just simply to attend school and get her studies done. However, her first few days into the city shows how inexperienced she is and how clearly the city life isn't going to be very easy for her or something that she's going to get used to right away. But whether it was fate or just simply lucky time, she will meet another girl named Moka, who she's actually very quite familiar because she was actually part of the band named Diamond Dust that she's actually a huge fan of. So seeing her was something that really made her so happy, but she completely gets shocked and kind of saddened at the fact that Moka is no longer part of Diamond Dust and is doing performances in the streets due to creative differences between her and the band, because she did not like where the band was going. Instead of focusing on talent and creating songs with passion, the direction the band was going was just simply to following the trending topics or creating songs that were just simply easy hits. That is not the direction Moka wanted to go, so she decided to leave the band and focus on her own journey in the music industry. But things wouldn't go easy, and at that point Moka was actually planning on leaving everything behind and doing something else. That is until she met Nina, who not only convinced her to keep going, but also decides to be part of her band, as one talent that will be revealed with Nina is that she's good at singing. But despite both of them having this new goal into creating their own band and doing their own thing, we very quickly see just how different mindsets they both have. While Nina is very positive and feels like they have the right approach and feels like they could do it if they just simply focus on creating good music, Moka is the complete opposite. As well, yes, creating good music is going to work most likely, it's also just how they're going to market their band. While it's fine to have good music, it doesn't matter if you are not known, and if people don't recognize you, then you're just simply going to be another forgotten band. But while they may have different approaches on how the band should be, they actually do have one thing in common, and that is not being able to confront their past or moving forward. You see, Nina and Moka clearly have a lot of things going on in their heads that makes it very clear that there's some things that have happened in their past that they still haven't let go. Like I mentioned earlier with Moka, due to her leaving the band, she felt at first that it was the right decision. But later on, she saw just how popular Diamond Dust has gotten without her, and they even got a new member to replace her. That makes Moka very conflicted as to whether or not she made the right decision, because while yes, she may believe that she made the right call, she wonders if she really wasted her opportunity to make it big due to her personal opinions of music. And then going back with Nina, like I mentioned earlier, the reason why she left her town to go into the city is because of severe bullying, and we get many moments that we see just how bad the bullying was, and it's no wonder why Nina just simply couldn't take it anymore and decided to leave everything behind to do something else with her life. Because no matter what she did, whether it was take the bullying or try to get to school to do something about it, nothing worked, which is a very realistic thing that happens in the real world. Unfortunately, sometimes the bullying doesn't stop until something tragically happens. And even if you do ask the school for help, they do very little, and it's only until something happens that they try to have a solution, or they go the other approach and cover up completely so that nobody hears from this ever again. That's exactly what happened with Nina, and it's no wonder why she was always very careful with other people. I mean, there's a moment in which Moka introduces Nina to her other friend, this being Subaru, who will be the band's drummer. When Nina first meets her, she is very skeptical of her and doesn't treat her too kindly, and that is because Subaru's personality matches with the girls that bullied Nina. That personality being very cheery and very easygoing is the personality that the bullies had that Nina had to deal with. So it's not surprising how she was very cautious around her, and while she would later on start to get along with her and realize that Subaru was a good person and had no ulterior motives, she still was lingering of the past. She still had her moments where she remembers what happened to her, and those bad memories really affect her deeply. But it's not like Moka and Nina are the only ones that are facing issues with their life, as even the other members of their band would also have their moments in which we get to learn about them as well, which is great to see, because not only do we get to see more personalities with these characters, but they aren't just there as extras or just simply there just to keep the story going. They all have their different things that they're struggling, and that's very nice to see. Like Subaru, despite her seeming to be very easygoing and having everything in her life, she too also has her struggles, as she's contemplating on whether she should actually keep going with the band or try to go with the path of her grandmother, since it's revealed that her grandmother was actually a very good actress, and during her prime she stole the show. And because of that, many people want Subaru to follow her grandmother's legacy, something that Subaru isn't really quite sure, as she wants to do her own things. Then we have Tomo, who seems to be the character in this entire band that has a really hard personality due to her being this passionate with music. Because of this, she always wants everything perfect, and for a while she did not hesitate what she has to say and gave her opinions whether people liked it or not. But due to this, many of the bands that she was part in really grew tired of her, and she of course had some very not so good relationship with other members of the band due to her personality. With these events and these experiences, this makes Tomo more seclusive and makes her not really give out her actual opinion, because she's afraid of just how this could damage the band and will lead to her worrying that she will be left alone once again. And then you have Rupa, who seems to be the most mature out of everybody, but she too has her own struggles, as she now starts to appreciate every little moment in her life and starts to spend more time with the people that she is close by, as at one moment she will reveal that the reason why she's making sure that she spends every moment with everybody is because due to her not visiting her family after a car accident, once she was able to see them, she quickly realized that her family was gone, making her regret not spending any more time with her family. It's a great reminder that no matter who you are or where you come from, nobody is perfect and everyone's going to have their struggle. And it's how you overcome these struggles that really is the reason people tend to change for the better or for the worse. In this case, it's for the better, as we start to see each member of the band trying to overcome their obstacles. The biggest ones, of course, is Nina and Moka, with Nina not only deciding to drop out of school to focus on the band, but to also confront her past as well. And this is by going back to her hometown, visiting her family once again. And while first things were tense, especially with her and her father, as Nina was not happy that her father did little to nothing to help her daughter with a very difficult situation in her life, she would soon come to find out that her father did in fact care for her, and even he himself was depressed because of how he did not feel like a parent after everything that happened to Nina. He clearly felt guilty for everything that happened to his daughter. So seeing them in the end finally make amends, and seeing them being happy to be with one another, and her father being supportive of her decision into following her dreams of being in the band, this really made it for a very touching moment between them, as now Nina felt free. It was no longer captured by the things that happened to her long ago. Sure, she may never forget all the terrible experiences and all the bad memories that she had because of bullying, but now she's able to lift her head up high and not let those things get in the way anymore. And then we have Moka, who of course is dealing with her situation of not being able to move on from Diamond Dust. And when Moka invites Nina to one of their concerts that they were performing, we would then get a very emotional moment in which Nina realizes that Moka really sees her as simply her old self. How Moka simply views Nina as the naive, positive person that she used to be when starting Diamond Dust. As it would turn out, Moka was the one who created Diamond Dust with her friends. And this is the moment with such raw emotions that we see Nina let all out with Moka, telling her that she should realize how she feels and how she too is a person that has dealt with a lot, and that she shouldn't view her as her old self because she is not her. She is her own person, and how if it wasn't for Diamond Dust, she wouldn't have been here today. As it's something that's very disturbing and dark to think about, that if it wasn't for Diamond Dust, Nina would have actually made the decision to take her life. But because of her love for this band and for Momoka's songs, she really was able to get through in life because of it. This makes Moka realize that she has to live in the present and not be focused on the past any longer, as it's not only affecting her but it's also affecting the people around her, and it's making her blind as to what she should really be focusing on, and that is the current state of the new band that she is in. While it does suck that at one point you were at the top and now you're back at the bottom once again, that doesn't mean that it's over and you're never going to be in the top. That is something that Moka realizes, and even though it is going to take more hard work and it's not going to be easy getting to the top once again, it can happen as long as they are determined to be at the very top. And that possibility becomes a reality slowly due to them having more performances, and because of more performances, more people are starting to recognize them, and the more people are recognizing them, the more fans they're starting to create. And as the things can get even more better, they even start to get offers from an agency in which they accept and are now a part of an agency. And when they get the opportunity to compete against Diamond Dust, only for it to later turn out that they actually want to help them in order to boost their sales and boost their recognition, they do contemplate on doing this action, but at the last minute they decide to deny this offer because it just doesn't feel right for them. They don't want help, they want to do their own thing with their own work and aren't going to back down from this decision. Thus, towards the end of the series, they give one big performance, not only reflecting everything they had to go through, but now realizing that this is just the beginning and there are many more things to come with their band. And overall, it's no wonder why girls band Cry is on the same level as Bhxa the Rock, because while music and the performances were great to see and they were really amazing to hear, that's not the only thing that made both of them such masterpieces. It's how they were able to show us the reality of life and the hardships that many people have to go through on a daily basis. Nothing is going to be perfect, and people are going to be at their lowest due to bad memories of their previous things that happened in their life, or because of the many experiences they have had to go through. But nothing is impossible, and just because there's a lot of negative things doesn't mean that there isn't any positives. And just because you have problems, that doesn't mean you have to deal with them on your own. as you're not only going to know people along the way, but those people may be the result of you being able to overcome your problems and overcome anything that's being thrown at you. And it's only a matter of time that you not only change for the better, but you look back and realize just how far you've gotten in life. So yeah, that's pretty much my entire video. I really do hope that in the near future we get a season 2 of this great anime, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.